franchise straight out the gate. Iconography present, every detail in place. Even for the 60s got his politics wrong, but for effortless charisma meet your man James Bond. Impeccably groomed avatar of wish fulfillment is perfect at gambling, killing, shagging women. Getting called into work in the dead of night, as well as big dick energy, he's also a spy. The government's man in the Caribbean has disappeared to Bond jollies off as fast as he can. To Jamaica, it's a hell of a backdrop as Bond rocks up to his signature soundtrack. Our musical duo John Barry, Monty Norman took the brief and knocked the fucking thing into orbit. Bond cracks on, driven by a fake chauffeur who ups for cyanide instead of telling Bond who he works for. Some investigation tells Bond that Quarrel's his man. Felix lightly turns up and they're the bestest of pals. Bond gets papped and lets rip with the agony, cause violating women's all part of the fantasy. Like the mentions of geezer, he's called Dr. No. He's part Chinese, so he's probably a foe. Dr. No has Denny arrange a surprise to wake up Bond as it tickles his thigh. A third unwelcome guest, let's not make it to four. When Bond catches Tara dropping eaves at his door, he pays her a visit, and it's such a great day he only nearly gets murdered just once on the way. Tara's total entertaining, that's the end of her say. Bond's like, fuck it, the bases are anyway. Then turns up, but that's enough of his tricks. That's a Smith & Wesson and Dent's at his six. Bond infiltrates Dr. No's island stronghold as we await Jaws Gate for Act 3 to unfold. Meet Honey Rider, laden with shells, written by men to be the ultimate girl. Naive like a child and does nothing unseemly, subservient to Bond and barely wears a bikini. And would you believe the only person of colour that quarrel of the three's the only one to get mullered? Dr. No is amassed, quite the operation, invites them to dinner, they accept his invitation. The doc is debonair but he still won't release them. Disappointed by Bond calls him a stupid police, throws James in the cell and chains his boat to the floor. His plan to murder the Yanks and their rocket launch, except Bond breaks free and gets a hold of the switch. The human spanner in and works, the doc loses his shit. Full of venom and spite, the Bond soon turns the tables. With only two working hands he can defeat the disabled. An indignant end for a man of science and wit, but better than the book where Bond chokes him on shit. Having murdered his foe and caused millions in damages, we retreat to Bond's boat for a display of his stamina and escape his fantasy and intel religion. An audience might wonder who's the actual villain.